Census at School began in the United Kingdom in 1999 as a partnership between the Royal Statistical Society, the Office of National Statistics and the Department of Education and Employment, and was led by Professor Neville Davies. Census at School models the census process and aims to actively engage students in using and learning statistics. The first phase is data collection that involves students completing an online questionnaire. If you miss this phase, a PDF version is available from the website. The second phase is data usage, where students use one or more random samples of the raw data from the questionnaire to conduct investigations, many of which will be of their own choice. This actively engages students and places them in a similar position to statisticians.
Schools from across Australia registered to be part of the Census at School project. Teachers then set up accounts and generated student access numbers. With these access numbers, students were able to enter the online questionnaire and submit their responses. All reasonable measures were taken to ensure students' privacy and confidentiality throughout this process. Census at School is an ongoing project. The data collected by submitting the questionnaire is accessible to all Australian teachers and students via the Census at School website. Let me show you the type of questions that were answered by introducing you to the questionnaire. The Census at School questionnaire was initially based upon the questionnaire from the International Census at School project. It was further developed by consulting with teachers from each Australian state and territory, from Catholic, independent and state systems, providing input into the types of questions included. The resulting questionnaire was used for the project. A sample of the questionnaire that Australian students completed is provided on this disc as a PDF file. The questionnaire contains 40 questions. The questions are personal but non-intrusive and ask students about basic demographic information, interests and opinions. The best way to explain the questionnaire is to show you some of its features. Students answer questions in a variety of ways. These include radio buttons, drop-down lists, or by manually entering their responses. Some of the questions are interactive, gauging students' reaction and concentration times. Other questions appear or exist in a series. Most of the questions ask students about their lives and their interests. There are also several questions that ask their opinions about national and global issues. Generally, the questionnaire takes between 20 to 40 minutes to complete. When the students complete the questionnaire and press the Submit button, their response data is placed into a central database. Here it remains until the information can be released back to students and teachers to use in the classroom as Census at School questionnaire response data.
Students and teachers will be able to obtain samples of questionnaire response data from the website. These are random samples and are subject to variation. The random sample enables you to generate a sample of questionnaire data. The random sampler can allow you to investigate sampling. You can compare the results from the samples taken across your class. Your students can design their own sample for a particular investigation. When investigating the musical taste of students, should they take a sample of students or should they take two separate samples, one of girls and a second of boys? The data allows students to challenge the usefulness of samples. You do have a wonderful opportunity to take a range of samples and so explore. In addition to the random sampler, we'll provide simplified samples on the website. These samples consist of a limited number of columns of data and often have a small number of rows. They are likely to be more appropriate for primary students. Data is also available in the form of tables, as stem and leaf plots and frequency tables, so that the Census at School data can be used without the need for access to computers. Naturally, this will restrict any analysis that can be carried out. Some of the tables are of information and not data. These tables are provided to support the activities and can be used in curriculum areas where the requirement is to work with the information that comes from the analysis of the data that has been conducted. The value of Census at School is that students are able to get real, raw data that is about themselves. Those that have completed a questionnaire will even be part of the data. This means that students will have a deep understanding of the data and it will be meaningful to them. Having the raw data provides the opportunity for students to become actively involved in a wide range of investigations that are of interest to themselves. Do blue-eyed boys have more fun? Is the reaction time of students born in September faster than those born in March? Real investigations are a natural result of the data, and real statistical questions will arise. What better way to investigate the variation in data than to compare the results from the 25 different random samples taken by each student in your class? Using a spreadsheet program is an excellent way to analyse and represent the data using information technology in a real and meaningful way. Census at School is freely available to all teachers and students in Australia. Let me show you some of the basic analysis your students can do. In this first example, they can create a summary table of the eye colour makeup in a sample and represent the data graphically. This second example investigates who is faster at completing the questionnaire, boys or girls. It also provides an excellent way for students to explore mean and median. How do they differ? Which is the better measure in this example? The third example shows a scatterplot of two variables. Do you think a relationship exists? What can you do with a data set like this?